Hi there, my name is David and welcome to BricksBlocks&MOCs. Welcome back to all of you awesome subscribers, and if you're new here, welcome as well. I hope you're gonna like what I do, and if you like what I do, please consider subscribing, because that would be very appreciated. And consider following me on Instagram as well, because I upload a lot of Lego stuff over there as well. So yeah, if you like what you see here, please consider following me on Instagram as well, because I think you're gonna like that as well. But yeah, over to today's video. Today I'm gonna talk about my favorite piece. And today's video is gonna be a bit special, actually. As I said in my 1000 subscriber video, I said that I was going to try some new different type of videos, and this is maybe the first of those. Today I will probably go a lot in depth with some Lego theory, if you will. I'm probably gonna name this video something like my favorite piece, and I'm gonna show you the piece that is my favorite. And my favorite piece is this 1x1 modified brick with a headlight or whatever it is. Well, actually, let's check out exact name for it once and for all. So let's go on to Bricklink. Right, parts. So exact name for this brick is brick modified 1x1 with headlight, and the item number is 4070. Alright, so now with that out of the way, I'm gonna try to explain why I like this piece so much, and it's basically because I tend to use it a lot. As we now are logged into Bricklink, let's just check some models I've created. All of these models you can also find instructions for over at my website, BricksBlocks&MOCs.com. I will leave a link in the description. Yeah, so let's take the Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, which I also have a video about. Right, so that model uses 11 of these pieces. Okay, let's check another one. Let's check the Nissan Skyline. Right, so this model uses 17 of these pieces. Let's check maybe the Aventador. That model uses 10 of these. Let's check one more. The Honda Civic Type R. That model uses 18 of these pieces. So yeah, you get the idea. I use these pieces a lot. Alright, but why do I use this piece so much? To explain that, we have to go a bit into Lego measurements and dimensions. Alright, so what different measurements and dimensions do we have in Lego? We have studs, bricks and plates, and most often when we are talking about length horizontally, we are talking about studs, and when we are talking about height vertically, we are talking about bricks or plates. And most people who have ever built with Lego know that one brick is the same as 3 plates. If we should go just a little bit more in depth, still a lot of people know this, but if we turn 2 studs on the side, how many plates or bricks is 2 studs on the side? That is 1 brick and 2 plates, or 5 plates in height vertically. Alright, awesome. Now is where the more interesting part begins. How many plates is 1 stud vertically? We knew that 2 studs on the side were the same as 1 brick and 2 plates, or 5 plates. Then we just have to divide 5 plates by 2, so 1 stud is the same as 2.5 plates. But half a plate, that's kind of unconventional. Let's say that you really want to adjust that half a plate. If you are building with studs on the side or something, how can you do that? It's now that this piece comes in, this 1x1 brick with a headlight. If you attach a plate to this on the positive stud on the side on this brick, then you will get 1 stud and half a plate in length horizontally, if you turn it this way, that is. Alright, so now we know that we can adjust half a plate a bit. So now we have 1 stud and half a plate. Okay, if we're gonna turn that into only plates, we knew that after dividing 5 plates, which was the same as 2 studs, we knew that that was 2.5 plates. 1 stud is 2.5 plate, and this became 1 stud and half a plate. And 1 stud then was 2.5 plate plus half a plate, which is the same as 3 plates. So then you have 3 plates this way, which is actually the same as the height of this brick, which is 3 plates, of course. If we want to go even more in depth, let's say we want to add another half a plate, then what you can do is use a normal modified brick with a stud on side and add a plate to that. And as that piece doesn't have this offset thing, you will add another half a plate. But if you want to add another half a plate to that, here it is where brackets come in, because a bracket is actually half a plate longer horizontally than a modified brick with a stud on side. So when you add a plate to the bracket, you will have half a plate longer than when you add a plate to the modified brick with a stud on side. So now from the modified brick with a headlight, we have jumped half a plate to the normal modified brick with a stud on side, and then we jumped another half a plate. So all in all, we have jumped a whole plate, which means that when you add a plate to the modified brick with a headlight, you will get the exact same length as one bracket. And how long was that? That was one stud and half a plate, which was the same as 3 plates. Then we know that a bracket this way is the same as 3 plates, which also is the same as one brick this way. Alright, I hope this makes a bit of sense, and if you feel like, why is this necessary to know? I will actually have some examples at the end of the video, just to show you why this is so useful to know. But yeah, anyway, so now we know that we have quite a lot of control when it comes to adjusting where pieces sit. And of course, all of these things with the brackets and stuff like that, you can always turn it around, build vertically, horizontally, and adjust half plate all over. If we should go even more in depth, this isn't probably as common as the normal bracket techniques and so on, but you can actually be even more accurate than only half a plate. You can actually go in a quarter plate increments. And how can you do this then? You can do this by the use of jumper plates. And if you don't know what a jumper plate is, I guess you do, but quick explanation. A jumper plate enables you to jump half a stud. So in basic terms, you can place pieces in the middle of 2 studs. So if you use brackets along with jumper plates, you can actually go in quarter plate increments. That means that you can be so extremely specific when you adjust where pieces sit, which is awesome when you are gonna, for example, match up roof lines and stuff like that. But most often it's usually more than enough to be able to adjust just half a plate. But yeah, let's get back to the 1x1 modified brick with a headlight. So why is that so much more useful than the other brackets or modified brick with a stud on side and so on? It's because you can do so many different type of combination in adjustment in length and height with this piece. Just to give you an example, I mostly covered the positive stud on the side here. Then when you add a plate to that, you will get half a plate longer, 1 stud and half a plate. But let's say you add a plate to the negative stud on the side here. That doesn't, as that side doesn't have this offset, you will actually add a whole plate instead of half a plate. So let's just think that we have a horizontal axle and a vertical axle, or a y-axle and an x-axle. And let's say we adjust the height and the length along these axes with half a plate's increments. If we attach it like this and attach a plate on the positive stud on the side, we will move half a plate horizontally and half a plate vertically, as it will have half a plate gap underneath. Let's turn it around and add a plate to the other side, to the negative stud on the side. We will move 1 whole plate horizontally and again half a plate vertically. Okay, now let's turn it on the side, and worth mentioning here, what also makes this piece so special, when we added a plate to the positive stud on the side to this piece, we'll get 1 stud and half a plate, which was the same as 3 plates. And then if we then remove that plate, we'll get 2 plates. So this modified brick with a headlight is actually 2 plate in thickness, not a stud in thickness. Of course, at the bottom it is that. But yeah, overall, this 2 plate in thickness, which makes this piece so unique. But yeah, let's turn it on the side now and attach it to a plate to the negative stud on the side. Then we won't have any gap vertically. And if we attach a plate to the top of this brick, which now becomes the side, we will move 1 plate horizontally. So we've moved 0 plates vertically, 1 plate horizontally. And if we add a plate underneath, we will move 1 whole plate vertically. But yeah, let's keep it with 0 plates vertically. And now if we turn the brick around and add a plate underneath, which now becomes the side of the brick, of course, we will go 1.5 plate horizontally and 0 plates vertically. And as it now is only 2 plates in height, we can also build up 2 plates and attach a plate over it. And just as a plus, if we turn it around again and attach the positive stud on the side of the modified brick with a headlight to the bottom of a plate, we will actually go downwards half a plate. So we will go negative half a plate downwards. And that's basically why this piece is so useful, because you can attach it in so many different type of ways. Take for example a normal 1x1 brick with a stud on the side. You can basically only attach it in one way normally, or two ways if you count the fact that you can attach it to the bottom of a plate. And of course you can also build upside down and all of that. And of course, what also makes this piece useful is that it has a bar hole inside. But yeah, to end this video, as I promised to take some different examples, let's take my Chimera for example. The roof for that is a great example where I use this 1x1 headlight piece. And there is where I use it to adjust both the height and the length of where the roof sits. I adjust it vertically so it's the exact right height, so you will be able to fit minifigs inside, and horizontally I adjust the roof so it will match up with the other part of the roof line. And this is something I do with almost every single one of my car models. And then for my Mclaren P1 at the front, I use this piece to adjust where the headlight sits so it would sit perfectly both lengthwise and height-wise. And also a great example where I attach a bar piece to it is at the front of my Chimera to create the winglets of the air vent or whatever. I use this bar clip piece and hide it inside this modified brick with a headlight actually, which is an awesome technique I use a lot. And I also used it to create the sides of the Chimera front air vent, just to make the side dark bluish grey tile go a bit more flesh with the rest of the car body. And another place where I used it for the Chimera was for the openable frunk, where I used it to adjust where the frunk sit. So yeah, I use this piece a lot. Alright, so I hope you found this video a bit useful. I know it was very technical and theoretical, but yeah, this 1x1 modified brick with a headlight and all of the modified brick with studs on side and brackets, it's just such a big part of my building process, and it just helped me so much with so many of, especially my car models. So I just felt like I had to share this with you in hopes that it would help you a bit when you create your own models, and I haven't seen too many talking about this. But yeah, that's all it for today. I hope you liked the video, and yeah, I would really like to know what your favorite piece is, if you have one that is, so please leave a comment if you want, and consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already, and all that. And yeah, that's all it for today. Bye for now.